Well, welcome, Nicole Moudaber, to Your Music Industry. Thanks for sitting down with me today at Creamfields.
Thanks for having me.
No
This is the second year at Creamfields and closing it tonight, which is amazing.
That's fantastic. What, last year were you closing, or were you?
I was before Carl. And obviously we're playing the Intec stage, and I've released a lot of records on Intec and won awards as well in the States on Intec for Carl's remix. So there's a family history.
Yeah, certainly. So when I was looking into you, I found you have a rather interesting concept when it comes to programming nights. How there's the warm up, the middle, and the close. It'd be interesting to learn more about that, as with your programming events from being in Lebanon, in Beirut to London. Did that come from your experience, or is that kind of like something you learned from someone else?
From learning from DJs, actually. Because I was a promoter before, and then started in Lebanon, obviously, then moved to London, and I did my night for 6 consecutive years, every month at Turnmills. So I was programming these nights, and the logical way of me doing it, and the only way for my ears, really, is to build the night, you know, as musically to gel as much as possible. And so, you know, the warm up, the mid, and the harder stuff. I mean, you know, it depends, but for me, I still do it with my Mood Day, Mood Zone, which is the festival stages, and Mood Raw, which are my warehouses. I still book DJs from all over the world, and I tend to program it like that. It's still within me.
So within the closing tonight, what you're looking to kind of play, is there going to be a lot of Intec in there, or?
I don't know. I don't know. I came a bit early to obviously support Carl. I'm just gonna follow my gut feeling, really, and take it from there. Yeah,
that's good. Play to gut, and having that opportunity to come a bit early as well, let you kind of see what's going on and see what's working, and maybe not what's,
of course,
and get that atmosphere.
I
so you
came
can jump
early
straight
for you too. You know,
well, thank you
to do this interview. Otherwise, I would have had an extra half an hour to sleep. But yeah.
Well, sorry for getting in the way of your sleep.
It's a pleasure.
So talking about sleep and kind of being healthy, a big part of us as humans is having energy, having that power behind us. And looking back into your past, I am really humbled, as your past is, I'd say pretty different. It hasn't been smooth. It hasn't been the easiest past in the world. And to see what you've done and kind of channeled that energy into better things, is that something you've realized with like taking your experiences and thinking, come on, let's put that into good?
Yeah, and I'm still going through it. I only had this, you could say, like an aha moment or a revelation or enlightenment only a couple of months ago.
Really?
Yes. And during that entire time, it was a struggle. And so it's not easy to come to terms with a lot of stuff. Things that you've been brought up with, things you've experienced, things that have affected you and you haven't resolved yet. So, you know, it's not an easy journey. I think everybody goes through something during their life, and everybody deals with it in a different way. I'm the kind of person that holds on to things and I'm learning to let go now. It's only now that I managed to have that power. I still don't have it 100%, but I'm beginning. I started that journey. Thanks for pinpointing this out.
No problem. So maybe from your experience, if there's someone going through said suffering now, maybe from their scene, from their own personal experience, have you got any advice for them on maybe how to try and not move past it but live with it and make better of it?
You know, words are easy and you can tell this to anyone, and it's only up to them and it's their journey, whether they're gonna hit the wall or sink so deep, and the only way is up. I think everybody has to go through that in order to wake up. So no matter how many times you tell someone, oh, you gotta do this, no, this is the way, they're not gonna listen until they break into pieces and then put themselves together. I mean, I can only talk from experience, and this is my opinion. Maybe somebody else would tell you another thing, but I think also it's very important to realize the people around you and to acknowledge that there are people who love you. There are people who want you to feel better and feel good, and you just have to look at them and give them the time, and they will be there to pick up the pieces with you. And also, you know, it's good to meditate maybe, or sit in silence and try and look at yourself, like get out of yourself a little bit and see the bigger picture. I mean, we can go on for forever, and it's such a great conversation, but you know, in brief, I can just say, just realize that there are people around you, whether you know them or not. There are, and you're not alone. And they're there to help you, and just try and acknowledge and speak out.
Yeah, I totally respect that. And we've had meditation come up a few times on podcast episodes, as it is a powerful practice, so I'd always recommend that.
Yeah.
Looking into, say, some of your, I'd call hobbies other than DJing and music, you're a race car driver.
Yes.
It sounds like you've got a rather interesting relationship with fear. How's that cultivated? Do you just think and have fear behind you, or how do you deal with fear?
Do you know, I think it's down to personalities. Some people are, you know, extremists, and they just jump without thinking, and some people aren't. So I'm one of those that I like the rush. I like the natural rush more than the other stuff. Mind you, I do like the other stuff too, but yeah. I think, you know, I've always been that. And when I started racing, my coach, who's a twice Formula 1 champion, he was scared next to me. Basically, he said, oh my God, you're crazy. So it's a good thing, and it's not a good thing also, you know, because that brings risks of damaging yourself. So yeah, you know, once in a while I like to just put the pedal on the metal, basically.
Do you ever face fear when you're approaching a DJ set, like tonight at Creamfields?
Every night when I DJ.
And how do you deal with that? Maybe if someone's nervous approaching sets?
No, I take this pill made out of herbs, Indian herbs, and it's anti-stress, basically. I do have stage fright every time, but once I get on, the 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes in, I'm in a different planet. But it's just that initial phase that I enter is a bit and if you don't care that much, I don't think you care about your job really, because you want to give the best 100%, you know, every time.
And when you're closing, you can do the hard. So for a moment, I'd love to talk about the moments you were getting into DJing, the moments you were getting into being a selector and playing music. If you could go back now and give your former self one piece of advice from what you've learned over all these years in the industry, what do you think that one piece of advice would be?
Don't take it too seriously, because that will stress you out for nothing. I'm at the point where I just want to enjoy and play music and not take it too seriously, because when you do, yes, you perform amazing and all of that, but you can also do that while being relaxed. And after all, you know, it's just a party. It's not, you're not creating the next rocket, you know what I mean? So I tend to take things seriously, but I'm trying to let go now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and I'm really looking forward to your set later on
Thank you so much.
with just after Carl Cox. So thank you very much, Nicole.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.